Since the beginning of the year, rumors have been swirling about a possible sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. At first, most people didn't take them seriously. Some dismissed it as fan fiction, others thought it was just another internet hoax. But as it turns out, there's more truth to these whispers than anyone expected. According to Deadline, a follow-up to Tarantino's hit is not only real, but already in active development, though with a few surprising twists. The project currently being referred to unofficially as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2 won't follow the continuing story of Rick Dalton, and it's not shaping up to be a traditional sequel. Instead, the spotlight will once again fall on Cliff Booth, with Brad Pitt set to reprise his role. The actor hasn't publicly commented on the news yet, but insiders claim that he's already signed on for 2 films, making his return more or less a done deal. While the official title is still under wraps, sources say the new movie will serve as a direct continuation of the events from the original. However, there's a significant change behind the camera. Quentin won't be directing this time. That role will go to David Fincher, while Tarantino will stay on board solely as the screenwriter. This means the project won't count as Tarantino's much-anticipated final 10th movie, something he's been very deliberate about planning. But still, what's crucial here is that the story is entirely based on Tarantino's original concept, so this won't be some studio-manufactured spin-off. It's a legitimate narrative continuation with his creative DNA all over it. Whether Once Upon a Time in Hollywood even needs a sequel is up for debate, but at this point, that debate is moot. The project is moving forward. Filming is expected to kick off this June, with Netflix taking the lead on production. Reportedly, the streaming giant has already committed a budget of around $200 million, which tells us this won't be some intimate art house film, but a full-blown, high-stakes cinematic event. And while it's a Netflix project, it's very likely that it won't be exclusive to streaming. With that kind of budget and an A-list cast involved, it's hard to imagine they won't push for a theatrical release as well. This is shaping up to be something much bigger than a typical platform original. It's looking like a prestige-level feature that could dominate both screens and awards chatter alike. As for the cast, aside from Brad Pitt, it's been confirmed that Leo DiCaprio will return as Rick, but only in a brief cameo. No other actors have been officially announced yet, and details about additional casting remain under wraps. The story will focus on a new chapter in the life of Cliff Booth. He's no longer working as a stuntman. Now he operates as a sort of behind-the-scenes fixer within the Hollywood system, a secretive agent navigating the power games of the entertainment industry. His job involves resolving conflicts off the record, pushing troublesome people out of projects, brokering deals with powerful producers, and securing lucrative contracts. Cliff is doing dirty work by discrediting reputations and leaking compromising materials when necessary. Through his character, the audience will get a gritty, unfiltered look at the inner mechanics of the film business, where ambition, influence, and money clash in backroom deals and shadow plays. According to sources, Tarantino originally considered introducing Cliff in his upcoming, tentatively titled The Movie Critic. However, he later decided to take a different path and pulled Booth from that concept. Now, the fate of The Movie Critic is unclear, and it's unknown whether it will have any narrative connection to the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at all. But Cliff is getting his own story now, whether you call it a spin-off, a sequel, or something in between, and it's being directed by none other than Fincher. That fact alone makes this a project worth watching closely. What's especially exciting is that, despite the new direction, the upcoming film is expected to retain the same atmosphere and visual language that defined the original. We're talking about the late 60s and early 70s. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood transported us to LA in 1969, at the brink of a cultural shift that marked the fall of Hollywood's golden age and the rise of something far more raw, unpredictable, and politically charged. It was the era of hippies, the collapse of the old studio system, and the emergence of new Hollywood. Veteran stars were fading, and a new generation was rewriting the rules. It looks like the sequel will carry that same energy forward. Vintage vinyl crackling in the background, classic cars cruising down Sunset Boulevard, cigarette smoke curling through neon-lit diners, and backroom power struggles playing out behind the glitz. Despite the fact that the news has already made the rounds across insider circles, Netflix has yet to officially announce the project, and there seems to be a clear reason for that. According to sources close to the production, the studio is still waiting on final approval from DiCaprio. Reportedly, Leo is asking for anywhere between $3 to $5 million for what would be a brief cameo appearance, a staggering fee even by his standards. Right now, Netflix is apparently weighing its options, trying to figure out how to best incorporate his role into the story. Should they expand his part to justify the paycheck, or reduce it to a symbolic appearance and avoid throwing the budget off balance? Meanwhile, Tarantino is said to be actively revising the script. Key elements are still being ironed out, including final decisions on characters and casting. Producers are in the process of deciding which actors to bring back, which ones to cut, and where replacements might be necessary. But one thing is certain, Brad Pitt's Cliff will remain the lead character, and Pitt is already officially signed on for the role. Netflix is reportedly eyeing this July start date for production. That would position the release sometime in the summer of 2026. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood originally hit theaters in July 2019, so if all goes according to plan, the sequel will land exactly 7 years after the first part debuted. Subscribe.